to the first video podcast of Pass and Move, the soothing sounds, the vocal stylings of Pass and Move Liverpool Group. I thought we'd do the official music for the very first one, and then we'll have loads of 50s throwbacks, indie crap for the next few, I'm sure. Joining me today is Alison Dunn. Hello, Alison. Nice to see you. It's yes, it's a woman. Everybody, don't panic. Just relax. We're all fine. We're all fine with it. And next to Alison is, ladies and gentlemen, international man of mystery, printing magnate, Wilberforce McCrimmon Moose. It's for both of them. A little bit for both of them. So, first of all, Wilberforce McCrimmon Moose, why have you chosen to remove your guard?
Well, I mean, when we decided to go down the route of making a video podcast, we were sort of a bit screwed, really, wasn't I? And I'll be totally honest, there's been times when I've torn with whether the secret identity should be revealed, and the secret identity is really quite boring, actually, but the reason for it. But yesterday, as you well know, we filmed at the hallowed Temple of Anfield. Yeah. And because of what we were doing, and the club were really nice, they allowed us to film in the Players Tunnel. Oh, yes. And Coyley and I were allowed to run down, touch the "This is Anfield" sign, and when I saw we got permission for Ian to do it, I thought, well, sod that, he's doing that on his own, I'm going to do it as well. So therefore it was decided I'm going to have to come out.
We did talk very briefly about a GIMP mask.
Yeah, we did. Yes.
A wrestling mask first, and then I moved it onto a GIMP mask. Yeah. I quite like the idea. You think he'd suit a GIMP mask?
I think he doesn't need one.
No, he doesn't. No. Nice one.
Although the ball gag has often been required on many occasions.
So let's just explain. Basically, the Pass and Move podcast is now going to be a video podcast. It's going to be exactly the same as it was before. If you subscribe, you get to see us. After you've seen McCrimmon Moose now, you might want to change your mind. And if you don't subscribe, you still hear it in a technical hearing. So thank you very much for joining us today, Alison. And what I want to do is just do almost like a mini one to start off with, because we did one the other week, just an audio one. But I wanted to talk about just some of the things that have happened in the club in the last few days, really. And I wanted to start off with, which we ended the last podcast, I think, didn't we, Moose, about Carroll. Yeah. I mean, but by all the everybody's denying everything, and he's saying he doesn't want to leave, and Liverpool are saying, oh, we don't really want to get rid of him. But all the signs are he's going to be, as far as I can see.
Well, I mean, Alice and I spoke about this off camera, which you should never do, but we talked about the fact that a lot of people have put online with, oh, well, Brendan's actually now going to give him his chance. Brendan's going to take him on pre-season, and all this fuss about Brendan's made his mind up without watching him play or train or anything, because he's taken him on the North American tour. Well, he's taken Aquilani, Cole, Carroll, and as we said on the last podcast, translate American tour for shop window. Absolutely.
Shopping.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's very sad, particularly for the guy and probably for us fans, because we saw at the end of last season and a touch of it in the Euros that he'd actually hit some form for us and finally seemed to be able to play as we expected or as we thought he could play when we signed him. But what kind of message is that to a player when you haven't even kicked a ball, you haven't even had a training session, and he's already talking about selling you? He's not giving the guy a chance.
My stick with this, and I keep banging on about it, is that if we are going to play a system, and that B-Rod plays a system where he's got wingers who will go at pace wide and cross the ball at height, at speed, into the box, then he is the best man for the job, absolutely. If we're not going to play that way, if we're not going to get the ball wide and cross it at pace in the air, then there's no point having him there.
Well, I'm not sure that I buy into that. Yeah, that's probably playing to his strengths. But for me, I think there's more to the guy as an actual footballer. I think he took a while watching him last season at the start when he started playing for us. I thought he looked like he was out of position all the time. When he should have been at the back post, he was hovering on the 18-yard box. He just didn't seem to know what he was meant to do. And whether that was because of the coaching and training or because maybe perhaps he's not the brightest lamp in the street, I wouldn't know. But he did start to hit the form, and he's got a good he's a good footballer. He's got good feet, and playing to his height all the time is. Yeah, that's great if it works.
Just occasionally might be
but
useful.
It shouldn't be the whole setup of.
I can honestly say,
play.
I'm far more disappointed that no one's talking about us getting rid of Stuart Downing. I'd much rather take a substantial hit on Stuart Downing. And Stuart Downing, if we look at who we've brought in, and at the time we brought this, the guys have just left for the North American tour. So Barini's on board as the first signing. When we're recording this, the rumours are Clint Dempsey, which just fills me full of absolute despair as a possibility of a signing. I just don't think he offers us anything we haven't got apart from the ability to sell shirts in America.
Yeah, do you think that's why though?
No, I don't actually. I just think that again we've got a statistical matrix genius living in Australia, hi Sean, who's basically very, very good at proving why people like Dempsey should be in the team. And then you've got people like us that look at the fact that, for me, Clint Dempsey's had one really good season where he scored above 9 goals on average, and we've got midfield players that can, playing in the right formation, should be able to get to 8 or 9 goals a season.
I was going to bring this up later on. I mean, I don't. If you've got him in the side, and then you've got Aquilani, and you've got Cole for that matter hanging about, Danny Pacheco, and you've got there's, as I said the other day on the website, we've got 14 now with losing Maxi, 15 midfield players. Surely one of them must be able to do a similar job to Clint Dempsey. I don't understand why.
Yeah, sure why
just on the subject of Maxi, I've got to tell you this as well. There's a great picture doing the rounds on Twitter. Of course, Maxi's gone home to Argentina to play for his hometown club. He's gone home to play for Newell's Old Boys, and I will put the picture up over this bit of commentary so you don't have to look at me, but I've got to tell you this, the badge on Maxi's shirt says Knob, N-O-B, which is absolute genius.
When they said Newell's Old Boys, when they first said it, I just thought, Christ, it's Mike Newell at Tranmere or something. I've never heard of Newell's Old Boys, but I amazingly thought of Tranmere. I don't know why. And Mike Newell.
It sounds like
was Mike Newell at Tranmere, or was I just making that up?
I think you're making that up.
Right. Well, yeah.
It sounds like an old Masters team, though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It should be all over 40.
Yeah.
So just going quickly back to Carroll. So West Ham apparently bid 15. The rumour is Liverpool will take 20. So that's basically just writing off £15 million. It's just
okay. There's two ways of looking at this. The fact that the club are prepared to back Brendan's judgment to take a 15 million hit is a massive show of strength and resolve and belief in the manager. So that's credible. Wasting 15 million quid in today's current market is not acceptable. I still don't see at this particular moment, because we needed a striker before the season started. If Carroll goes, we're going to need 2. They're talking about, especially now he's been cleared from viral meningitis, Liverpool moving for Sturridge. Right? Sturridge is, again, to keep Matrix happy, the hand-chewing, greedy so-and-so that sits in the box and doesn't really contribute much or else. I don't have any problem with Sturridge. I think he'd be great. But he's still... We are becoming a very, very small... And I know it's a good dimension to go in, because I love B-Rod's style, but we're becoming a very one-dimensional team. If you take Andy away, there's still no substantial lack of a plan B.
There's no plan B, and that for me that was the problem with Kenny. If we just go back to Kenny, from January onwards, the problem was any of his substitutions, they never changed the game, and he didn't have a second set style of play. And I think Moose is bang on the money there. If we don't keep Carroll, then we don't have that option to change a game by bringing on something.
Well, there's two things though. One, should you have a £35 million player sitting on the bench? If I'm Carroll, I'm much happier to go back to Newcastle rather than sit on the bench and being frustrated. And I think the thing with Kenny is he played his plan A and his plan B at the same time, and the police play his plan A and his plan B couldn't play together. No. And I think, going back to that fundamental thing, if you're going to play to Carroll's strengths, then he's the best player in the league to play in that situation. If you're not, if you're going to play lovely passing football, like Kenny did a lot of the time, and tried to play it with Carroll in the middle of it, Carroll can't do that. He just can't do it. He's not a bad player. He's not bad on the floor, but he isn't great. He isn't brilliant. His movement's not brilliant, and he hasn't got the lightness of passing ability and skill on the floor to be able to do that. So we played a lot of those games with 10 men because it was a waste of time being there.
Do you not think though even if that's a given, what you say is correct. Do you not think it's a bad move for Brendan Rodgers to make that assumption and have his set way of playing before he's even arrived?
Ian, you mentioned something.
It's about the PR, actually, about the whole thing.
I totally agree with you on that.
I think they should have. If we were going to get rid of Carroll, did Carroll need to know? Did it need to be made public?
Okay, can I catch you on that? There's no way in the current climate, even bearing in mind the previous PR disasters we've had at the club, that Brendan made that statement without, in my opinion, Carroll's people being told where he possibly features in his plans, right? Yeah. That was either, let's get the kid on the market. He may not have done it in the most subtle fashion, but there's no way that, at least I don't think Carroll's people, I don't think Andy found out at a press conference, right? No. That's been tipped off for some time in advance. Whether it's, we'll possibly look at you, putting you out on loan for a season to see how you go. I've never understood the Premier League loan system. I couldn't possibly countenance. I don't think it's fair that if you're a Premier League club, you should be able to loan players within the same division, which is why I think the AC Milan story started. It may well have been as a well, let's put him out there, let's have a chat, let's buy someone a nice glass of wine at Milan and see if they'll just bring the subject up of Carroll being available to loan to get it out within, get it on the market effectively.
I think there's been a lot of chat about this on the website, and basically from the other's perspective, if Rodgers gets rid of him and he gets 20 million, he can pick up a £20 million player. Suarez was 20 million. So him picking up a £20 million player will make our team better. And that, at the end of the day, if you're taking £15 million hit, then you're taking £15 million hit.
You've hit the nail on the head for me, because for me it's about the money, not about the loss of taking the loss. It's about actually generating income to actually then go out and buy somebody. Because I'm not sure about how it worked, but when we paid 35 million for him and it was 50 million we got for Torres, whatever the accounting procedure was there, for me the 35 million price tag was inflated, and we all knew that, and it's been probably a bit of a monkey on his back, because everyone expects a lot more from someone when you've paid that much money for him. But for me, it's not about how much he cost or how much the difference is if we take a loss on him. It's about actually generating the income to actually go and buy someone else if he doesn't fancy him.
Well,
that's how I see it.
I fully expect him to be, I think, probably at Newcastle about to start the season.
I'm not so sure about that. There's a strong stories coming out yesterday that the last place on God's earth he wants to go back to is Newcastle, really? Which surprises me. I don't think that's a personal situation. I just think that he is a fragile lad, let's be honest. We saw that. The monkey in the back that you mentioned there, Alison, is dead right. He's a fragile lad, he's a young lad, and he knows, he's not unaware of the Newcastle response to another one of their, are we the lad heroes up in sticks and leaving. I just don't think he's, in my mind, I don't think in his mind he's confident enough to go back and be received as a conquering hero.
And will he fit in the team because of the way Cisse was playing?
And exactly. Is he going to go and sit on the bench at Newcastle?
Exactly. So it's like, is that really a good career move for him? And actually, he is quite a young guy. So, you've got to take all these things into account.
He's certainly not going to go. Let's be honest. I thought that the rumours of him being offered to Manchester City in January were nothing but rumours, but it certainly looks like it was true now, doesn't it?
And, I don't think he'd move to West Ham is...
No.
Well, saying that, if he was at West Ham, he would be the focal point of their attack.
He'd be the focal point of the press as well.
But I suppose career-wise, a smart move would be to go there because he would completely dominate that team.
Yes.
But anyway, look, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? I mean, by the time this goes out, it may well have happened already. The other things we touched on the US tour there. I just wanted to quickly chat about some of the people who've gone on that. Like you said, it's a shop window, but I was really surprised to see that Aga's on that trip. Aga and Johnson and Gerrard.
Gerrard's on that trip.
Gerrard's in the squad. I don't know whether he'll go to start.
But Gerrard's there to shake hands, surely.
Well, hopefully he doesn't kick a ball because he must be knackered. Absolutely. He was knackered at the Euros, wasn't he?
Pepe's not there, is he?
Huh?
No,
Pepe's
not
there.
No, he's not there.
Because I mean, he had a really stressful Euros, Pepe.
Yeah.
Sat on the bench
Yeah,
for 5 games, didn't he?
when I
mean,
read that he's not gone, my first instinct
He's
was
off.
panic. He's not. And then when I read, well, actually, it gives the other guys a chance to shine, and he's just having extra time off. I thought, yeah, is that real? But if we lost Reina, I think
Well, there was talk of him
would be a disaster for me.
thinking about leaving it. The other people are worth mentioning. Obviously, Cole's going there, Aquilani's going there. You know, it'd be nice for them to put the shirt on. Suzo's going there, which
That's
hopefully
really good
that's
news.
great news.
Can I mention one? Because this is real praise, in my opinion. Talk about start from a great PR point of view. Barini has cancelled his holiday to go out to America to join his new teammates. Totally true. Flies out tomorrow.
Where was he going though?
Well, to be fair, he was
in a caravan in Rhyl, wasn't he? So you know, push comes to shove, it's not a great thing. The other people going who jumped at me, Eccleston again, another kid who's never had a chance. You know, we couldn't score a goal, we couldn't hit a barn door. You know, 35 times hitting a post and bar. Yet still, the kid never got an opportunity last season. I really hope he gets an opportunity at least to sit on a bench at some stage. Danny Pacheco. He's back.
Yeah. Is he still on Twitter, Danny?
He's back. He's there. And that's great, you know. I think maybe he's the perfect player for B-Rod.
Fits
Yeah.
B. Rogers'
I mean,
style of play.
It's funny you should say that. Did you see Joe Cole's comments yesterday?
Yeah,
he was praying that he would take over.
He was praying Brendan Rodgers would take over. Yeah, absolutely.
So he says, but I mean, you know, is that genuine, or is he just saying, pick me, please?
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. It'd be very interesting for Joe Cole to see whether he's actually in the squad for the first game, wouldn't it? The first real game. And the other person who I'd forgotten about Adam. I completely forgotten about it.
Charlie, I'm really. Everybody who listens to the previous podcast will know I've got a real lot of time for Charlie Adam.
Yeah.
I really like him. I think he's a very underrated, undervalued footballer. And from what I've been told, that's someone that will be wearing a black and white shirt in the very near future.
Really?
Yeah, which is very depressing.
Not County.
Very, very depressing.
Well, see, I have to like him. Not that I don't anyway, because I'm married to a Scot, and of course anyone that's Scottish that's anything to do with Liverpool Football Club, I have to love them. But I was chatting to another female football fan, a massive Rangers fan, and obviously a lot to talk about there. But she's absolutely besotted with Charlie Adam, and can't believe how some of the Liverpool fans have turned on him and don't like him.
I think he's fantastic.
I think he's 50-50.
As a player,
He did. You know, a lot of the games he was out of his depth and looked unfit. And not the games he dominated the games.
As I told you last season, I know for proven fact that when we lost Lucas and Stevie wasn't fit as per usual for the majority of the season, that Charlie was the one that went into the physios and said, "Give me the pain-killing injections, give me this, give me the cortisone."
Which is what you want.
I just thought that he was. He played he was still our best, thanks to Matrix and those wonderful stats he produces. Charlie was still our best assists for the season, and he didn't play in the last 10 games of the season.
But then a lot of the fans don't like him, and they call him a Cartos and a poor man's Gerrard or whatever. Or I always say about him, we didn't pay a lot of money for him. I'm not sure he's on big wages. And I think if you've got the right combination playing with him in the centre mid, then you'd get the best out of him.
Adam and Lucas at the start of the season in those first few games looked fantastic together.
Exactly.
I mean, that's great to see him fit. You know, and then maybe we'll see Gerrard out wide. If you put Gerrard out on the right and you start, well, we saw it in the Euros. That's the sort of crosses that big Andy Carroll needs. Just you know, I'm like a stuck record. Quickly, let's move on to a warning to everybody, and this especially for the ladies who follow Twitter and are interested in Liverpool. John Joe Shelby is back on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a worrying thing.
Please don't follow him, because little John Joe made an appearance, if you remember, was it 2 years ago?
18 months ago.
18 months ago. Little John Joe popped up by mistake on Twitter, which looked very much like Big John Joe. But the reason, he just turned up, and then just overnight, as that happened, there was a BBC Three, which I've not seen, a BBC Three documentary about racism in football, and off the back of that, some I think it was Cardiff City players were tweeting about the fact that John Joe Shelby, when he was at Charlton, called them terrorists when they were playing. So yeah, I think John Joe might go off Twitter again before. So you know, I mean, I haven't seen it.
You've got to be honest though, right?
Yeah.
It's pure communication. You got to, I feel for the lads on Twitter because they're encouraged to basically be themselves, and probably that's exactly who they shouldn't be in a lot of cases.
Well, especially Joey Barton, because I follow Joey Barton.
That's great, isn't it?
Classic.
I follow Joey Barton purely for just to see just how pompous and up his own arse he can manage to be on a daily basis.
But we'll you know, our new brave new PR and you know, a brave new look at you know, the online world and all that. Will that change now? Will they be a bit tighter on that sort of thing?
Stevie's always been told not by the club not to go on Twitter, and he then announces it that he chooses not to go on Twitter, but he's actually been told as club captain, don't do it.
He shouldn't really, should he? Or at least he shouldn't do it himself.
I think the prime example for anybody who's a top level footballer is Joey Barton. Just look at what one wrong thing, without going there, I mean, a reply by Rio Ferdinand is probably going to land him in the dock with the FA. A reply to somebody, you know.
Anyway, there you are. So very quickly, we just go on the back of. I missed one. I've got the transfer rumours here. Who was the Dutch fella that we were interested in?
Oh, Mr. Mertens from PSV, who is a fantastic footballer. Can't find out. There was.
Gone quiet, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was quiet. It was looking very good. We were apparently in for, I can't pronounce his name, Nunez as well, but that was rubbish yesterday for Atletico Madrid. All of the players we're being linked with, it says everybody sort of picked up Brendan's style, right? Is that everybody who's fast, mobile and can actually trap and pass the ball is now being linked to a Liverpool Football Club.
And Theo Walcott as well.
Unfortunately, Theo Walcott. The sad part of it is the one that looks like that's got the most legs in it is Theo Walcott.
Right.
Now, Theo Walcott is an unfinished Thierry Henry, but he's been that since he's 18 years old. For Theo Walcott, I give you Ryan Babel. Fast, ability, absolutely no bottle.
It's not strong.
No, absolutely no bottle. And the bit that surprises me the most, I actually think Walcott's a bit of a rough diamond still, which is quite surprising. But it's Theo Walcott, after all the time of being in an Arsenal team, and bearing in mind what everybody believes is B-Rod's perceived style, Theo Walcott can't pass a ball for toffee.
No. He runs with it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
My note on him was, don't we have a squad of players with no end product already?
Yeah.
And you know, I mean,
it's just a faster Stuart Downing.
Talk to Arsenal fans about him, and
they can't wait to get rid of him.
Well, you know, I'd say about him as well. If we bought him and we played him on the right wing, then we'd lose the quality of Johnson, because there's one thing that Walcott doesn't do, and that's defend, track back. So
that's exactly why you played Milner in the Euros. I also want Alisson to touch on this one, because Alisson's absolutely over the moon with the fact that we're possibly looking at spending anything up to £20 million on a Swansea midfielder, aren't you?
I'm shocked. I'm actually disgusted. I think, what have we become? We're actually, okay, Brendan's from Swansea, so he knows the guy. But for me, it's the shop window now that we're looking at. Looking at Joe Allen, I'm talking about. Yeah, it's like, when did we go down that road where we stopped looking at, I don't mean big established players, but something a little bit more you fancy, and do we need another midfield player?
Pass completion rate 90.3% apparently, and that's I think Zabi is the other player.
Yeah, no, I remember his stats were just below Zabi. Yeah.
And you know, he knows him. You know, I mean, £20 million is a lot of money for a player from Swansea.
But it's like,
that's
where
the
does that come from? 20 million quid. I mean, what are we paying for? Because when you're paying 20 million quid, you're either paying for a big name, or there's lots of people after him, big clubs.
But where does he go in?
Or you're paying off someone's contract, and we can't be doing that.
Or are you paying 20 million quid because the Swansea chairman knows just how much Brendan Rodgers wants to sign him?
Yeah, possibly.
I've got some other ones here. Michael Owen to Everton.
It's hilarious, isn't it?
It's like he's going to do a couple of seasons at Everton, and then he's going to sign for Nazi Germany just to complete the whole thing. He's going to Man United, Everton, Nazi Germany. That's it. He's fine. It's just literally he wants to piss me off in every single capacity. I mean, you probably turn up there and do all right. But what?
Well, you know that. I mean,
they need a big set of tweezers.
I know. Well, I know he's been obviously
to get the splinters out of his back. He spent most of his life on the bench.
Well, he's got his. I mean, come on. They can just about afford to sign an on-P of 30 pieces of silver, can't they? I mean, yeah.
Or a few horses.
Yeah, a few horses.
Some horse feed.
I mean,
Michael Owen.
I mean, he hasn't kicked the ball for 3 seasons, has he?
No.
You can't kick it with the good leg.
Do you not think you could liken Walcott's impact on the football scene to Michael Owen, except Michael Owen was better because he came along with this great big reputation, fast young player, and he was a bit like Michael Owen, and then of course he's gone from there. He hasn't really gone anywhere.
But the difference is, of course, Theo Walcott's a Liverpool fan, whereas Michael Owen was
but they're all Liverpool fans, aren't they, when they want to come and play?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the other classic though. To be fair, the only way I could see Walcott working is if you actually brought him in and played him where he played at Southampton, because through the centre as a kid, he was fantastic. Yeah. I mean, if that's your outlet, that's a potential Plan B, Walcott through the middle, because if you the one thing that the only thing that worries me, as we've said about B-Rod's style and so is, and you've seen it, Barcelona have 2 styles. Yes, they play tiki-taki, but they're hard as nails. Barcelona, right? They stick it in, they move it about. Arsenal are probably the version you don't want to become, because Arsenal play beautiful football, got no teeth, they have no bottle, and again they also lack a complete and utter Plan B. If you were going to take Walcott and play him through the middle as a potential over the top, because you're going to play teams that are going to press you, where you're going to need to keep the ball in your own half. Right? Now, no matter how good you are, you're not Barcelona yet, right? You've got to release that ball at some point. So your 2 choices are, if you're not going to release it to a big man and have it hold it up when people to get there, then you've got to put it behind people, turn the team that's pressing you round as quickly as possible. Walcott, Downing, people with pace then Sterling come into their own as options. Sturridge, that's the option.
But you see, when you've got that kind of style of play, that when you lose ball, we don't have the defending back. You don't do it.
But the players he's looking to buy, but the players he's looking to buy under his system, Swansea's one of the things I liked about Swansea so much is they defended the Liverpool way. Their 3 front players hunted the ball in packs to get the ball back. Their whole system, which was how Spain played in the Euros, was win the ball back in your half of the pitch, which is exactly because you get retention of the ball and you're already 30% further up.
Great defending, isn't it? But that's the problem. Walcott's not got that in his locker.
But everybody, perhaps that's what Brendan thinks, that everybody thinks they can change a player.
I mean, Downing can't do that either. You don't see.
Oh, you wouldn't get on very well with 50 Stew. He likes Stewart as a defensive player.
We haven't touched on Henderson either, because for me, Henderson, that we paid so much money for, and it is the one player who I will say, okay, I'll eat my hat if he turns out to be the player that we're told he is. I won't eat my hat, it'll be an edible one, it won't be a straw one. But I'm still waiting for him to show something. And for me, I've never seen a player that chases the ball around so much but never actually puts a tackle in or wins the ball.
Well, when we bought him,
I'm not allowed to talk about Henderson.
When we bought him, he was, essentially an attacking central midfield player, and we played him as a defensive right-hand side player. So, I mean, to be honest, he's one we're not talking about getting rid of because he's so young. So maybe we can change him into a player.
How old is he?
21.
Yeah, he's only
nearly 22, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of those.
Like he's a teenager.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of those. I suppose a lot of those kids from the youth team and stuff we thought of as a youth team. They're all. I mean, I don't know how old Eccleston is now. He must be at the similar age.
Eccleston's similar age.
Yeah. Or older.
I think, as Alison said, it's because they don't come with the 20 million price tag, isn't it?
Exactly. So it's different. But he came with the price tag, and you see, when you get that kind of price tag, you expect almost a finished article, unless you are buying a player that every other big club wants.
Well, let's hope that with B-Well coming in, everything else, all bets are off, and he starts with a completely blank sheet of paper and goes, right, okay, well, you've all got to prove what you are and what you aren't now. And that includes the younger players coming through, because there simply aren't enough, there haven't been enough younger players coming through, I don't think, especially in advanced positions. So let's hope that will happen, and the Suzos of this world will get an opportunity. Just quickly before we disappear off, Dempsey we talked about, he's essentially on the back burner, I think, until the Carroll situation's sorted out. Ramirez, that's all gone quiet.
Yeah, apparently it's well, everybody still says it's very much on the cards, still very much going to happen. You get a few dissenting voices, but the majority opinion is still going to happen. But he's at the Olympics, so nothing's going to happen. And let's be honest, he's sat with Suarez and Cortez at this particular moment. So I'm still confident that'll come off.
Joe Allen's at the Olympics as well. We had to see Joe Allen playing for Great Britain in the Olympics, so we'll see. Sturridge we've spoken about. Maybe. I've read Junior Hoilett today.
I personally wouldn't be bothered in the slightest about that. What do you think, Alison?
I'm not sure. I thought he was quite good last season, and I actually earmarked him as being a possibility for us, but I'm not sure.
I think he'd be quite cheap, presumably. So.
Well, he's a bucket load of chicken, isn't
he? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Oh God, don't get me started on that.
Do you think we'll see Cortez playing?
Yeah, I think we will, because he's a footballing centre half. I think we will. I mean, I would like to think he would be our third choice.
He's Agger in waiting, isn't he?
I mean,
Well, he should have been really last season.
Yeah, but I mean, again, Carragher's gone on the tour. You think, well,
I'd
be very happy to see Jamie now as coming as a defensive coach. That would be fantastic to me, because
teach people to hoof the ball harder and further.
Teach people to tackle, and teach people to
be tactically aware, and teach people how to cope with being shouted at from 3 paces away. Yeah.
That's us then for the time being. I just want to quickly say a massive thank you. Yesterday we went down to Anfield, and we also went to see the people at the Hillsborough Family Support Group and have a good look on the site, because the videos and interviews that we did yesterday will be up on there. And Margaret and Trevor Hicks, I'm astonished that those people are just incredibly powerful talkers, and I was humbled in their company, and I just want to say a big thank you to both of them for that, and the access that they helped us get at Anfield as well, which is fantastic. Go on, Miss.
Yeah, just briefly, obviously subscription details will go up online soon. Just to remind everybody that we have a great time doing this. It's fun, but the object of this whole exercise is to raise money for charities. One being the HFSG. There are other organisations we're working with as well. We'd really like people to subscribe for that reason. If you want to make an active difference towards the cause for justice for the 96, which a lot of people and a lot of Liverpool fans give an awful lot of thought and comment about, please subscribe, because that's exactly where the proceeds are going to go to, and you are going to help those people make an awful lot of difference. If you want any proof of the pudding, watch the interviews that Ian did. But I can't tell you, having sat on those things yesterday, sat on those interviews yesterday, if anything else, as Ian said, wants to make you really totally feel how much you've got in your life and appreciate what you've got and not lost, then please just watch those interviews.
Keep watching us on the channel and have a look out for the next podcast, which will be, I don't know, next week, couple of weeks or whatever. We'll be looking forward to
the weekly when we get in the season.
Oh, Jesus, what am I going to do with my life? All right, and thank you very much for coming along.
You.
And this is our first one we've actually done in Liverpool, actually. This is
we didn't mention we're actually in Liverpool.
In a lovely hotel room, a secret location just off Mount.
And we've gone to secret cameraman from Secret Engineers now.
Fantastic. So thanks everybody, and thanks for everybody in the crew has helped us today, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.
Bye.